I thought I might just come in and do a little book review. I'm wearing my hat, Book Babe, that I got from the National Book Festival last year. And I thought, and I'm also greened out from a little St. Patrick's Day outing that I had earlier today. And so I thought, maybe I'll just come on here and do a little book review. I've been thinking about doing these, and so I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it, right? I recently finished this book, Parable of the Talents by, of course, THEE Octavia Butler. And I had, originally written, or I did not write this book. I had originally read this book, Parable of the Sower, which is the first book to this book. Right, this is the sequel. And I gotta talk about this woman right here. I just have to talk about her. I have a positive obsession with Octavia Butler. I am positively obsessed. I mean, first, let me start off with reading the reviews. So all the books that I read, I also give a review for myself, to myself. I was also trying to do it for film and television, but that got away with me because I just consume those at a higher rate than I consume reading. Although I'm reading more than I have read. Oh my God, and look at what else I have. This lovely mug that one of my friends got me for my birthday. And of course we're ringed out. I got all my rings. This is my Vegas ring. This is my Chicago ring. This one is my ring that I recently got in New Orleans. A little toi et moi action for me and my love. And then this one's these two are from Arizona. And then this one is also another one that I got in New Orleans. It's called the Voodoo Stone. And it changes color depending on the lighting. So it goes through the Mardi Gras colors. It got me just based off of that. I was like, yeah, I'll take two, I guess. So it's kind of yellowy amber in, I think, whatever this lighting is, indoor lighting. Outside, it's purple. And then, or is it outside, it's green. I don't know, but it changes colors. It's really cool. So I got two. And then this is from the Japanese Street Festival, and this is from the National Book Festival, and this is from my auntie. So now you know everything about what I'm wearing, and we'll just pivot back to the purpose of this video, which was a book review of Parable of the Talents. And so I will just start off by reading the review that I originally wrote for this book. So I have the book, author, genre. I also put the dates in which I read. So I read this book in 4 to 5 days. Specifically, I read 333 pages in one day. I actually just sat on this couch and I didn't do anything besides read Parable of the Talents. It's just that kind of book, right? I sat there and I ate it up. I will say, I started reading more when I started reading in the genres that I love. I actually realized what was impeding me from really consuming books, from really reading, having that voracious reader appetite like I had when I was a child, where I would eat up 20, 25 books in 2 weeks, was that I suddenly thought that reading only had to be nonfiction. I was reading so much nonfiction, so much adult books, and I wasn't getting through them, I would pick it up, I'd read it, I'd put it down. Some of them are good. The Gifts of Imperfection is good. The Defining Decade was good. I tried Come As You Are. I didn't finish. But for the most part, it was my genre. So what I did was I cycled back and I just started hitting the genres that I loved as a kid. Fantasy, sci-fi, dystopian, romance. And all of a sudden, I'm reading books 1 week, 2 days, 2 weeks, a month at max, unless it's a book that I didn't really care for and then I would slog through it, which now I also don't do. No more, if I don't like it, I just picked up one book, Rock, Paper, Scissors by Madeline something, or Alice Miller or something. She had the His and Her movie. Tried out the book, and within 3 pages, I was done. I'm over this. I don't finish books anymore. DNF. I'm a big DNFer. No more books. So, anyway, let me get to this review. So, this is what I said. Oh, and I showed you the mug. It's got some classics from the American canon. And, they are all Caucasian people for the most part, but, it is what it is. Okay. I read 330 pages in one day. Oh, sorry. So and I'm not starting over. I've decided that I'm recording things and I'm doing them just full throttle. You know what I mean? I can't be in the editing booth anymore. It's too much. So I do title, author, genre, how many days I read it in, and then I give it a rating out of 10. And Parable of the Talents was a straight 10. 10 out of 10. I read 330 pages in one day. I don't think I'll be able to get this off my mind. It's in my head. I feel both inspired by and intimidated by Octavia. I don't know how to create knowing something like this has already been created. I suppose I just have to try. It was a nice escape from my own reality, which felt a bit exhausting to linger on today. Lauren Olamina accomplished what she set out to do. This idea of positive obsession, purpose. They took root among the stars. It's one grounded in something true. I know it, I've known it, and there was something incredibly inspiring about watching a fictional character self-actualize. Octavia continues to be a masterclass in weaving a story together. Conflict is the essence of story, she said. Each character, each conflict, each piece of dialogue contributed, even when I would skim to eagerly get to the next. I'd find myself still in the story, eager to know what else. And then I didn't finish the sentence. There are some who I didn't finish it. That's a shame. I'm not going to lie. There was a part of me that thought, just go and be safe with your husband and child. But at the end, I knew that was a lie. That was wrong. She was right to stay and do what she set out to do, what she must. She didn't want a mediocre life of safety. She wanted to achieve something bigger than herself, to matter. And that's admirable. I can't sit here and say she sacrificed her daughter, which I had heard. So I had heard somebody else had once said that this book was about what it means to sacrifice for a revolution or movement. I don't agree with that statement. Her child was abducted. She tried to get her back. What I can say is that you have to keep moving forward through adversity to actualization. And that is the inspiration I needed for myself. Thank God for books and the blessed act of reading and losing oneself wholly in them. I mean, this book, guys. And then I also have a review for Parable of the Sower. Let me see, what did I say for that? So I read Parable of the Sower last year in 2 months. And I think it's because I had to take it a little bit easy because it's a lot. It's a lot going on in these books. I said, wow, Octavia Estelle Butler does it again. I am in awe of this masterful work of art. Admittedly, it took some time for my flow to get going. The book was too relevant. It was too apt. I kept thinking, how did she know? Everything from climate change to the fall of democracy to the rise of a fascist figurehead to the cost of everything going up. I feel like I'm reading the writing on the proverbial wall come to life. It was too much. I had to take it in bits and pieces because I just might choke if I tried to swallow it whole. By the end of the book, I found myself wondering what had become of this motley tribe of survivors who I'd gotten to know and care for, and hoping they were okay. What a strong and testament tale of strength, loss, and perseverance. Lauren is a young woman beyond her years to take on the responsibilities that she did. I kept waiting for everything to be okay, for her father to return, for her mother and brother to turn up all right, but they didn't, because it's not that kind of story. I don't know. I feel like I would have just sat and let the world happen to me. Or maybe one's self-preservation instincts don't let that happen, even in the face of the most imaginable grief and horror. And that's really what this was, a horror. One waiting for us as a society around the corner. Wow. My only regret is turning that page and reading the little bit of the sequel. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just let it marinate, because Parable of the Sower is truly that kind of read. Also got a 10 out of 10 for me. Whew, these books, if you are looking for a book that is going to completely engross you, that is going to have you lost on the page, these two books are the books for you. If you're looking for just something that's going to transport you somewhere else, and I'm not going to lie and say here, if you haven't already realized, spoiler alert, but these books are going to take you to a place, and you might not want to go there. That's why it took me so long to read Parable of the Sower. I didn't want to go there with her, I mean, I think at one point I annotated and I said, is she a seer? Is Octavia a seer? How did she know this? How did she know? Everything she was saying, college tuition, pricing everybody out, climate change, making everything, just not livable. A figure like Donald Trump. Even the slogan, Make America Great, which I know Trump didn't coin because he doesn't have an original bone in his body. But it was still kind of crazy to see it come up in a work that was written in like 1990 something, That felt so, she made connections about the kind of right-wing Christian evangelical pipeline into politics, and just how dangerous that is for our country. So, I don't know. What did y'all think about Lauren? By y'all, I mean, I don't know, my mom, myself. I liked her as a protagonist. I did, even until the end. Like I said, I never agreed with the fact that she was, I never agreed that she gave up her daughter for the revolution. That child was abducted. She was absolutely abducted. And I think Lauren did what she could to find her, while also still keeping very focused on her mission, right? Which was to get them to those stars, and did. I think Lauren is, like, for me, especially when we talk about certain things like nuance and complexity of character, looking at you, whoever the director is, of One Battle After Another, Lauren to me is a true epitome of like a complex, nuanced character. She is not cut and dry. She's not black and white. It's a lot of gray, and it's a lot of trying to understand somebody who is so singularly motivated by her purpose and the decisions that derive from that. Are they decisions that I would have made personally? I'm going to that cliff town to go be with my man and my baby. Personally, right? But that wasn't Lauren, right? That wasn't the decision that would make sense for her character. And I think Octavia just does such a good job of fleshing out and building out characters, and then having them make plot decisions that make sense for those characters. Her prose, unmatched. Let me see if I have a couple of golden lines here. Oh, here's one. There's almost one on every page. line. Oh, here. And still, he stared at me, but now he was shaking. He made me think of a crystal thing, vibrating to sound, about to shatter. I pulled him to me, held him, this big child, taller than me. I felt his tears wet on my shoulder, then felt his arms go around me, hugging back, still shaking, silent, desperate, hanging on. The little girls planted their seedlings under our guidance, but not with our help. The work was done by their hands. Somehow he did get them both into the truck. This was a long, slow, terrible business. These are all like negative pieces of text, but that's honestly largely the book. Not negative. There's hope, right? But it's like it's happening in a very tumultuous timeline. Let me see. Oh, here's another one. Or was that the last one I had? I think Parable of the Sower also had some. Ooh, I remember this one. I can't get Mrs. Sims out of my mind. Somehow, she and her suicide have gotten tangled up with the astronaut and her death and her expulsion from heaven. Here's another one. Maybe I'll be more like Alicia Leal, the astronaut. Like her, I believe in something that I think my dying, denying, backward-looking people need. I mean, just the lines, the lines, the lines. Beautiful. So, if you're looking for a book, this is my book review. I know it's a little haphazard, but it's what I have. If you're looking for a read, that is going to transport you to another place, another time, that is going to fully capture your attention, that is going to have beautiful prose and powerful plot, that is going to be something maybe a little different for you if you're not a sci-fi girly like I am, and you're looking for something a little bit out of your genre comfort zone. Or if you love sci-fi and you want something steeped in your genre comfort zone, then I cannot say it enough, Octavia Butler is the woman for you. And these two books, incroyable. Me personally, I'm making my way through her entire, is it discography? Like for an author, I don't know, works. I started with Kindred. That's, I think, a good entry point into Octavia. I have her Exogenesis series, which I'll do a review on at another time. And that one's a little bit more far out there. Although, strangely enough, my brother, who doesn't like read a ton, he doesn't love reading, actually like got into that series a little bit more. That's definitely one that's a little bit more unorthodox. And I'm rereading Bloodchild and Other Stories right now, which is her collection of short stories. But I would highly recommend this series, the Parable series. It's riveting, it's timely, it's relevant, it's well written, and it will surely keep you reading. And I think that's what we all need a little bit more of right now. We all need to just read and have some escapism in our life. And if you want escapism that feels productive, then I feel like reading is just such a good choice for that. And this series is a great place to start. Okay? Thanks for joining me on my first book review. It's like 1:30 in the morning, so I'm going to go to bed, but Book Babe coming at you live. And until next time, ciao.